Nerd Soul.
Oh yeah, late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerds. So like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and let's go. Cause we got another episode of Soultaku. We having a good time. We ain't got the, what I'm saying. It's just me. Alright, it's just me. You know what I'm saying. Dropping some thoughts on that anime. And right now, I wanted to take a second to just say thank you. You know what I'm saying. Thank y'all for riding with me. This is something that I haven't said yet, but I've seen, like shares and analytic stuff, and you guys are hitting the like button. Some of y'all are commenting, sharing, and stuff like that. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all the support. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's anime-ish, whether it's gaming, talking about Marvel or something, or talking about, like Changa and Retcon and 133 Art, whatever it is, thank you for all that support. Thank you for holding me down. Thank you for, what I'm saying, being interested in, clicking that play button, that like button, that comment, all that stuff. So, what I'm saying, big shout out for that. But look, we got to get to it. You know what I'm saying? I know you like, man, look, we ain't trying to talk about that anime, bro. So, I want to give a big thank you to Netflix. You know what? Netflix anime has been really hitting this year on the low low. No, you know what? No, on the high high. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, Netflix anime has been top notch this year. Like we've had what two five joints at least that I could say that I really enjoy. Now they've had more than five anime drops this year, but for me, Castlevania was on point. Captain Laserhawk was on point, and we're going to be getting into Blue Eye Samurai. We're going to be getting to Onimusha and Pluto today. So I just wanted to give a big shout out to Netflix on, what I'm saying, just keeping that hot content flowing because it's some dope stuff, and we're gonna be covering this week to week. I know the whole seasons is out, but they're so good. I didn't want to consume them all at one time and then be done. You know what I'm saying? I wanted these to roll out a little bit, kind of like I do with Jujutsu Kaisen and stuff. Even though I be wanting to have the whole thing, but sometimes it's good to have, just wait. You know what I'm saying? Wait, hold off that enjoyment. You know what I'm saying? Hold it off a little bit. So first up, I'm gonna talk about Blue Eye Samurai, and first of all, I'm gonna say that I want to call BS on YouTube and they algorithm and whatever they be doing and saying what's you can't do and you can't say and you can't post and blah blah blah, because Blue Eye Samurai had the human body parts straight full frontal nudity, all right, and they let that joint go on YouTube without a hitch. I'm like, hold up, whoa, what happened? What happened, YouTube? I thought when I had a video game drop about biking, they told me I couldn't put biking on the thumbnail because it was too much chest up there. Now all of a sudden you got, come on, bro, YouTube, y'all be fronting, y'all be lying, oh y'all full of it. But anyway, do I like Blue Eye Samurai? Yes. This thing, man, wow. First, let's talk about the look. It has kind of this Pixar slash Goblins look, or Goblin, or whatever, however you pronounce it. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering. I apologize. But you guys know the animation studio I'm talking about. It's Goeblins. So I apologize for probably mispronouncing it. But it's like a awesome mixture of those two. And just looking at it is beautiful. Like I just love looking at it, and a lot of the joints I'm gonna be talking about today, I just love looking at. Period. Without even before we even get into the story stuff, but Blue Eye Samurai has such a unique look, and it's so awesome to have that movement flow in its own special world that isn't tied to anything that you may have seen before. Now, not saying that they're, breaking the mold. There's other similar looking projects, but in the landscape right now of things that are coming out, things that are dropping, it definitely sets itself apart. And that's one thing that I really dig on it. I also like the time period, going back to like that kind of classic samurai period and stuff. I think it's kind of cool to go back and look at that and, have like a I guess historical fantasy or something in that time, or straight up, fiction in that time that we can just go and immerse ourselves in that historical period, of course, with a whole bunch of swords and blood, and they bring it, man. I'll say straight up, when we meet the young lady who is basically what Japanese have like a term for, because she's a mixed race child, or well, I mean she was a mixed race child. She's grown now, but seeing how she uses the glasses to kind of change the color of her eyes, because of course back then there weren't no such thing as contacts. So using those glasses to kind of bypass the open, kind of like the open racism that she's dealing, or the open bigotry, or whatever you want to call it, towards people that would be considered like half a, you know what I'm saying? That is a nice little touch that I thought that they didn't have to do, and I thought that was unique, and it adds to sort of the mystique of her character. I also think that setting her up against not only, I guess, the current status quo as far as the, I guess the Shindo dojo, and also kind of like the society at large, as well as thing that's going on in the background, and setting her up as like this kind of sort of setting off on this path of revenge on her own, is super cool. And it gives her, I think it gives her a lot of sympathy, because we see her flashbacks from her childhood for being, treated, because if you're a mixed race child, like you didn't ask to be born, you didn't ask to have those parents, so you ain't know nothing, you was just born. So seeing what she went through, seeing how she was kind of taken in by the sword father, and those flashbacks added a lot of just sentimentality to her character, to the sword father, who I really enjoy. I think he's just a beautiful character, honestly. And him, even though he's blind, he's not stupid. He knew that he most likely knew, even though he called her a boy, I'm pretty sure he knows that she was a girl, or she was a lady, growing into a lady. And then probably also knew that she was a mixed race child. And he took her in. Now, I mean, of course, he probably didn't know that straight off meeting her. I mean, when the meteor crashed. But I'm sure that over time he knew that, and he treated her with love, with dignity, with respect, with great care. And those moments really help to lay a foundation of kind of like where she comes from, where her fire and ferocity is coming from, because of course we learn about her mother. This first episode does a lot to establish just how good, what I'm saying, and how awesome this show hopefully will be, what I'm saying, because I don't assume that the rest of the show is going to be just straight trash, while this first episode was just 100% fresh. Now, this joint was fresh flying ultra, if you ask me, because we get, without kind of weighing down the story, we get her past, we get her kind of like growing, learning how to make swords. We see the meteor hit, where I was like, we all knew like, oh snap, she getting a sword, that's where she gonna get the sword from. And also we see her training and preparing, and when she's in the Shindo dojo, because after she chops off a dude's fingers at the beginning, which was straight boss level, he left with his life. But we see her go to the Shindo dojo, and I was like, yo, I'm guessing it's about time for something to go down. And bruh, we see why she prayed that prayer. She said, "Dear Lord, give me the strength to kill them." Yo, bruh, when somebody praying for your downfall, that's a whole other, when they like it's different if somebody like, man, I hope they get hurt. Nah, she's like, "Dear Lord, please give me the strength to beat them down, with the most ferocity." Nah, but I like how we set that up, that kind of like hatred, that anger, that revenge for what happened not only to her but also what happened to her mother. Her mother was basically thrown around and tossed around, and of course they did what they did, and her mother was abused basically, and now she's kind of finding out and going on that trail to find these four men, these four white men, because at this time, Japan is closed off, and these four white men, or as another character calls, the white devils, what I'm saying, or the four fangs, which are probably going to be sent after her before she gets to the four white men. This, man, I'm ready for this. This is shaping up to be a very tough journey, and we do have a foundation of her having some companionship, because on the side we see what was the brother's name? I can't remember his name right now, but he was at the Shindo Dojo, and I think his name was Taigen, I think it was Taigen. Please forgive me if I mispronounced it, but Taigen, and seeing where he is with trying to marry the current, I guess, like current governor's daughter or something like that, whatever kind of political guy he is, and then seeing him lose his whole rep to the Blue Eye Samurai, and now seeing where that might lead him, bruh. From the trailers, it seemed like he might be changing his mind on who he want to go after. You know what I'm saying? Because at first he's in love with the governor's daughter or whatever, but now, at least in the trailer, it seemed like he has a budding relationship with the Blue Eye Samurai, and I'm not mad about that. I'm not, it seems like, I mean, we've sort of seen this story before, but it seems like something that grows naturally and organically. And the way this story is already moving, I'm there. I'm straight up, I'm there. I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to, I think her name is Mizu, the main character, the Blue Eye Samurai. Shouts to Mizu for, man, these cool moves. Also shouts to her for what is it? The guy that doesn't have any hands, the guy that constantly follows her, from her hooking him up at the house of the ladies. Like, I think his name is Heiji. I think maybe. I can't remember his name, but bruh, look. The way she hooked him up, she was like, look, I need him out my way. Look, how many for 3 girls? Like, I will say one thing. She made sure she distracted him. She showed enough to set a distraction. And that's a distraction. He learned about pumpkins and peaches. But Blue Eye Samurai, I'm really digging it, man. This first episode came through. Like, I like the fact that they're like, we don't want no white commerce out in these streets. You know what I'm saying? You buying stuff from white people, you got to go. Also, seeing her like with the straight up Rock Lee style, pulling off the leg weights, the arm weights. She got busy. Like, yo, man, come on. You look, swords, blood, fingers flying, man, I'm there. So I gotta give a shout out. Blue Eye Samurai this week was hot, man. It was hot, a great start, and I'm super impressed. But moving on to some more Netflix stuff, we got another project, which is Onimusha. And I haven't played this game in forever, but I remember Onimusha from my Dreamcast days. I can't remember when it was out, Dreamcast, something like that. But anyway, they got their anime, and this is another unique look. This is similar to kind of reminds me of sort of like what they did with Batman Ninja, something like that. And I'm on board for this one too. Like, come on, bro. Like, look, when he said we're going demon hunting, come on, man. Like, you knew your boy was there. Supernatural action, supernatural horror. You knew I was there. Because it's been so long since I played the game, I forgot what the game was about. I just knew, it was kind of like Onimusha, Dynasty Warriors time, that kind of time period when they were dropping stuff like that. I was like, I don't remember what it's about, but I know one thing: that opening choreography is not to be played with. Yo, shouts out to I don't know if they were rotoscoping these characters or if they kind of went from just video, kind of like radio representation, or if they did, any kind of like a motion capture. But that the way he was handling the different characters, and with throws and sort of evading and basically breaking them down without, you know, wasting too much energy. Yo, this dude was straight up like the nature of water up in here. Like, yo, Musashi was not, he was showing y'all like the old man still got it. He was like, yo, the old man still got it. Don't sleep. Don't you sleep on me, y'all. Nah, nah, nah. That, bruh, he broke down, I think he said 11 people. He broke down 11 people to get this thing. Of course, they're going to, hit us with the pronoun game. But this thing for 33 days. So we very quickly in the opening sequence, we set up our clock for the most likely for the season. So we set up our clock, and we set up our quest basically, because he said, I'm going hunting, demon hunting, and boy, I'm telling you, that's the best kind. You know what I'm saying? Hunting demons. You know what I'm saying? Saving people, killing things. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. So, I like how he was just like the nature of water, and I also like the voice acting, similar to Blue Eye Samurai. All of these, Blue Eye Samurai was awesome voice acting, and so is Onimusha. Even the smacking of the lips, the sighing, the small things that we do in, I guess you could say, basic conversation. Those additions help these projects and these, animated releases feel more natural, and that's something that I couldn't enjoy more. The quiet moments while they're on the journey, while they're talking to each other, while they're telling the story about, from, I guess, Matsuki's point of view, where we're listening to Kaizen, who is the monk that comes with him. All of these things come together to kind of bridge the gap between what we might have remembered from the game, or if we know anything about the game and they're just coming into it. You know what I'm saying? We know, hey, there's this guy that he's most likely turned to some supernatural means. The top brass wants this handled and, nice and quietly, and they've put together their little sort of suicide squad to go do it. And when I say Suicide Squad, they won't lie, because the first fight scene, they open with a fight scene and they close with a fight scene, and that's what I love to see. You know what I'm saying? when Even when we have a conversation between Musashi and Matsuki, there's a moment where I thought they were gonna fight at the river, and they didn't. But the music got really tense, their voices got really tense, and I was like, oh man, I was watching that scene like, this is just well directed. Like, just because when they didn't fight, I was like, oh snap, hold up, they didn't fight. Or maybe I was tripping. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? For them to kind of pull the rug under me after me thinking they were gonna fight, that's something that I thought was just incredible and really loved, man. And then that battle where they finally pull out the Oni gauntlet and he goes against Matsuki and Gensai. Man, just incredible fight scenes is what I'm here for. We got the foundation of a great story, something that we're on a quest for. I am all in on this. The animation looks great, the art style looks great, and then of course we have a goal. Like, yo, there's a demon out there, and demons need killing. You know what I'm saying? That's what that's all we need to know, is that demons need killing. And we also know that this demon can possess people and kind of create issues and problems from a distance. And that makes this demon an even larger threat, because it's not like this demon is I guess localized to where he or she is. They can actually send out like that tongue that like ran away from Gensai's body, that, or I guess slithered away, that can be a threat in, a whole nother way. And bruh, I'm very impressed with what Netflix is bringing, man. With Onimusha, with Blue Eye Samurai, and of course, what I want to drop and talk about next is another Netflix project that is blowing it away from me, which is Pluto. Pluto is a joint that in the second week, I'm talking about Pluto's second episode, episode 2. Man, yo, let me tell you something. I I'm I'm still feeling it. And not only am I impressed with the detective story of it all, but I'm impressed with the addition of Adam. Um, and what I mean by the addition is when we see Adam in the like the key art and the press and the trailers, we don't really get an idea of his mannerisms. You know what I'm saying? We don't really get an idea for that until this episode. And with him, especially with him and Gezzet in Japan. I think he met with him in Japan because these killings are going. North 2 is dead. Um, what's his name? I can't remember the other. Mont Blanc is dead, and there's another one that's dead. So now Gazette is like going around like, yo, look, hey, there's somebody running around killing like top end robots. I don't know why. We don't know who it is, but look, you need to be on your P's and Q's. Watch your back. Keep your head on the swivel, bruh. You know what I'm saying? And all of them seem to be tied together in some way or another. And we find out in this episode, it's mostly centered around the 39th Central Asian War. And I can't believe they had 38 of them, but you know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna ask those questions. Maybe they just can't get it together. So, seeing Gezzet and Adam this episode and their conversation at this diner about humanity, about their experience and existence as robots, and even the trading, or not the trading, but the I guess borrowing or lending of the memory chip from Gezzet to Adam. There are some very like precious moments I think in this episode that really make a detective story awesome, because this show isn't particularly action packed, but there's so much built around I guess the investigation around the society that we're learning. Like with the superintendent or inspector at the beginning, and his clear and open, you know, he has an issue with robots. He ain't feeling them at all, and he's definitely letting it be known. And that energy that he had when he heard about Gazette being a robot, and even when Adam shows up with Gazette's memories and goes through the crime scene with them, bruh, there's like so much that it's really helping to reveal the energy under the surface for robots in this world that they're building. Because of course this is the world of Astro Boy. So it's kind of building that up in a very awesome way. And it's also opening up this story so it's not so small. Because we're going from the Alps, Scotland, Germany, Japan, like this, whoever is doing these killings is getting around. Matter of fact, speaking of killings, I know that's a weird thing to say. Speaking of killings, but who do you think is doing this? Do you think there's a robot that's doing this? Do you think there's a human that's doing this? Or do you think that it's a human robot team? Because I'm not sure, because we do get the scene at the end with Brando, which I'll talk about in a second. For that, it seems like it's just a robot, but I don't know, man. It's because the crime scene data that they had, which was super cool, that 3D recreation that they could do or the 3D simulator, man, that shoot, we need that now. But I don't know, part of me with that 3D simulation, part of me thinks that there's a human that's working with a robot, because a human goes into this robot space or in this person's space to kind of disarm them. Oh, it's just a regular human, blah, blah, blah. And then a robot comes in and wrecks shop. But at the end, and even matching that with the people's recounts from what happened at the crime scene, it's like this tornado came through, but it was just localized to one place. And that's where I want to move on to Brando, because we meet Brando. We kind of meet Brando, Mine, Hercules, and even look back on Mont Blanc a little bit. But Brando, man, look, I'll tell you this. This before I talk about Brando, this story really knows how to hurt you. Man, come on, y'all. Y'all ain't gotta do me like this. Y'all know y'all hurting me. Y'all know y'all breaking my heart. North 2, y'all broke my heart. Cause all this time I'm expecting, oh, okay, this is a nice side story. No, this isn't a side story. This is someone they building up to get you attached to so they can kill him. And boy, killed North 2, and I was like, man, he was just learning how he wanted to leave that life alone. He didn't want to be an instrument of war. And then we have Brando here, who has a beautiful life with his wife and his kids. There's love and laughter in the home. This guy is like a great guy. He's someone that you would say he's doing his best for himself, those around him. And even when Gazette comes to him like, yo, man, look, I don't know why this is happening, but it's happening. I'm trying to let everybody know that I can. You see him kind of take this, hey, I'm lucky, I'm gonna be all right kind of thing. And they go very far to show his home life, which then in turn, gets used to break you down emotionally, because you're like, nah, man, Brando, don't do it. You don't have to go on your own, bruh. But he went out there, I guess because he knew sooner or later, whatever this thing is, whatever this person is, whatever these people are, or robots or whatever, are gonna come for him. So he isolates himself, uses himself as bait, and to a certain extent uses his encounter with this thing or these people or person or whatever to relay that real time to Hercules, to Gazette, to Adam, which is something that I think was cool on a robot tip, where he can sort of say, hey, I'm going to go put myself out here, but everything that I see, y'all are going to be able to see. So use this information so that y'all can be able to take this guy or take these guys or take this organization, whatever it is, take them down. Because whoever's doing this, I don't think they're alone. But I could be wrong. But something this big, you're going to need people to cover your tracks or fund you or something. This isn't just, I don't think this is somebody by themselves. But that moment of his passing, of him trying to give them the information, and his memories of his family kind of flooding as he was dying, it was touching, man. And it felt honest, it felt real, and they do a lot in an hour to ingratiate you to these characters. And then of course, unfortunately, you lose these characters, but they do a lot, man. They do a whole lot to get you into these characters. And it's sad because, of course, we find out that Hercules at the end finds out that this killer is still out there. But we'll see how far this goes, man, because I am totally locked in, and I have no idea who would be doing this unless they haven't, revealed them yet. Because we know from the first episode, we went to our sort of Hannibal Lecter character, and we assume it's not him because, he locked up. So I don't know who in the world it could be. I'm really at a loss. But I will say one thing. I will be coming back next week with more Pluto talk, because this anime comes with it, man, in a very good way. Like, in a very good way. I love this. I love this show. All these shows, man, we living good right now. Like, for real, we living good. We got tons of dope stuff out in these streets. Shouts out to all the, the different projects that are dropping, the different studios dropping them. We got some heat. So, speaking of heat, Netflix isn't one to have all the fun. Amazon said, look, we gonna bring Invincible back. You ain't gonna get a whole season of Invincible. We don't know how it's gonna go, but you gonna get some Invincible. And bruh, Invincible is a return to form. Bruh, we open up with like the immortal and the resistance versus invincible and that whole alternate timeline thing. Now, to a certain degree, I want to ask y'all this. Are you tired of multiple realities and different timelines? Are you kind of tired of that? Because I've seen some talk online where people are saying that it's a lot of people are doing that now. And of course, Hollywood goes through its cycles, but it does seem like there is a lot of multiple reality or multiple timeline content, from these, Amazon, Disney, Marvel, whatever. So let me know how y'all feel about that, because I was like, man, everybody getting this, multiverse money, but seeing what Invincible is to someone else in another universe was, whoo, man, terrifying. That fight against the Immortal at the beginning, because at first I'm like, hold up, what is going on? But I was like, oh, okay, I remember it. They kind of hinted at a multiverse or like multiple reality or different dimension kind of thing in the trailer. So I was like, okay, maybe this is a different Invincible. And bruh, that fight and him ending Immortal and being like, come back from that, whoo, man, boy. Like, Invincible ain't no joke out in these streets. Like, I don't think that our Invincible has reached his peak, because that other Invincible, he was essentially playing with Immortal. He didn't even seem like he was having a problem with him. But then seeing the Resistance and seeing Adam Eve is something I wanted to ask you guys about. So Adam Eve fights against Immortal and Omni-Man. They kind of find the Resistance. They go after them. Adam Eve is fighting against them. How do you feel about how that fight went down? Because with what Adam Eve can do you feel like the writers shortchanged her in that moment? Because, okay, if someone can create matter or manipulate matter at a molecular level, like, wouldn't, maybe I'm tripping, but wouldn't she be able to kind of handle that situation? Like, okay, imagine this. Adam Eve could essentially just give you a heart attack. Like, she could just say, okay, well, there's an air bubble in your heart now. Like, she could essentially just, I mean, couldn't she like essentially just give you cancer? Or she could give you like a brain aneurysm? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know exactly how her powers work, but it seems like she can just create matter out of nothing. And if she can, shouldn't she be able to beat them? Or is it a situation where like the Flash is actually super dope, but his demeanor or his mind state or his character doesn't allow him to push his powers to a place where he could be that powerful? Or something like Iceman. I believe Magneto said Iceman could put the world into a deep freeze, but he hasn't realized his potential. Something like that. It was something he, to that extent, a long time ago. But I'm looking at Adam Eve like, oh, this should be a good fight, and it didn't seem like that fight was that good. Or maybe they shortchanged her because they were like, look, we just need to establish that somewhere else they teamed up and took over the world. So, who knows? Maybe I'm tripping. But in our world, we get back to Mark essentially blaming himself, which, bruh, it ain't your fault. Like, you didn't, it's not like you knew about it and let it fester. Like, you had no idea. And him sort of going through his own, I guess, penance, or, kind of his own personal purgatory for this, and trying to, I guess, make up for it. And I know he famously said, I'm not my dad, but Mark, not only are you not your dad, but this isn't your issue that you created. Now, because you're trying to fix something that you can't fix. Like you're not going to be able to fix this I don't know, this cloud over your head that, oh, his dad did this, he must have known. That kind of thing. Um I don't know, man. I feel bad for him because I don't think he's going to be able to do what he wants to do, which is kind of like make everything right. And I don't think you can. You can only just move forward, man. And you didn't do this. You did your best. He's like, all those people I killed. It's like, you didn't kill anyone. Like, bruh, like, this was your father that did this. And you trying your best to try to reconcile what your dad was doing while trying to fight him, while also trying to talk him down. Well, I mean, all those emotions that were going through your head that you were experiencing at once. Come on, man. Like, this is not in any way your fault. Um, so that I guess realization for Mark is something that might come later, but it is something that I thought was awesome to have in here to show that this is his sort of cross to bear right now. Um, and then on to Olga being. I wanted to shout out Olga real quick. Here's my thing with Olga. Olga is an awesome, wonderful, beautiful friend. Here's why. When I cannot remember his name. Red, I don't know. Flash. When the Flash died, basically, when the Flash died, Debbie was there for Olga. Debbie helped Olga sell her house so that she can move back to Russia, I think. So she moves back to Russia. She's gone. When this whole thing blows up with Omni Man, she comes back. She didn't have. She could have just called her and said, "Oh, girl, I feel sorry for you." But she knew that I need to something like this, and she doesn't have anyone else to experience it, to lean on. To see her come back and be with her, that's she's straight 100 for me, for real. Olga came back to be with her so that she had a shoulder to lean on, so that she had someone to help be her strength. To just sometimes when someone goes through, let's say basically a loss, because I mean nobody is experiencing their superhero dad beating someone or trying to subjugate the world, but for someone to say, "Hey, I'm here, I'm with you. And if you just needed me to sit with you, I'm gonna be here. If you need me to come here and say wash dishes or something like that, because you just don't feel like you don't feel like doing anything, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just be here for you." And I love Olga for that, man. That part that the writers put in there is awesome. I think that's something that was really needed, and it really helped tie in how strong their relationship is. Um, now on to the whole new leadership with Immortal and the new muscle with Bulletproof with the current team of the Guardians of the Globe, bruh. They was getting waxed. I mean, they won, but boy, they was getting waxed. It won't like duplicate won't doing well. Rex was, man. Look, they need Immortal to come through, and I'm glad we got a brother here. Glad we got a brother. I mean, I don't know why we always gotta wait for season 2 for a brother, but we do have a brother. We got an extra brother because we had an older brother, but the older brother didn't even get his powers back till like the end of the season. So we got two brothers. All right, we looking good. We got two brothers. Hopefully they'll be able to kind of, I guess, help these situations remain as safe as possible because you know the after action report was not great, and they made your boy step down. They was like, look, Immortal is the leader now. He got thousands of years of leadership, and for our universe, thank God Immortal is here because even though it's already proven that he can't be Omni Man, if there isn't anyone else, at least we can, I don't know, at least we can have him to sort of hold people off. You know what I'm saying? At least we got something. Um, but I am very, I don't know if I say worried. Maybe, maybe yeah, maybe apprehensive about adding him as the leader because due to his understandable due to his understandable feelings for Omni-Man, that could color his feelings for Invincible. And Invincible, our Invincible, hasn't done anything. But it might color his feelings towards him in a way that could put him and the team and maybe even the globe in danger. Where maybe he doesn't want to add him along or have him along with him or keep him away from the fight, whatever it is. And that kind of personal beef might end up biting him in the butt, but we'll see. Because he basically came to him and said, "Look, I'm gonna keep my eye on you," but it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like he's completely against Invincible. So we'll see how that plays out. You know what I'm saying? We'll see how that rolls. But all in all, a fresh way to open back up, especially with bringing in Angstrom in the multiple realities. And I knew we kind of all knew something was going to go wrong at that like mind transfer thing, and wrong it went. You know what I'm saying? The Invincible shows up, and of course he's like shut it down because they don't know anything. But in the heat of the moment, you don't have time to really explain what you're doing. But I can also understand from I guess the CIA or whatever that organization is, from from their point of view, like, look, shut it down. But then I can see them saying like, hey, we already started. We can't shut this thing down now. We can't get rid of this stuff. There's a whole process going on that if we stop, it'll, blow up or, explode or whatever. So I don't know, man, seeing the way they dropped, everything this season, or this opening, I don't think there is a better way to handle the whole Angstrom issue of how him and the Maulers come together and how he becomes like this, this sort of Kang-ish type character. Especially since now he's, I believe, the only Angstrom left from that incident. I know he said there were like 10 other places where there were Angstroms at, but he's the, I guess, Angstrom Prime, and he, I guess, is essentially going to be like this sort of Kang character now. And this is a great entry for him to see him quickly turn from, hey, I know we got ways to completely, fix and solve and help other worlds, to I've got to take down Invincible. And to a certain degree, I think it's whack on his part. No, Invincible didn't listen to him, but if you look at Invincible's side, it's like, bruh, I don't know what y'all doing, but I know the Maulers are bad guys. And if they're here building something, then, it's not good. Like, whatever they building is not good. And this is probably the only time where they built something that is good. But the Maulers being there and not trying to help explain didn't help either. You know what I'm saying? He showed up and they were like, good, let's fight. And it's like, bruh, no, you need to help them explain so that, this machine don't blow up and kill everybody. Because he was all melted and burnt up too. Yeah, like 82-degree burns or something. So what he went through and, what, of course, Angstrom went through is a great way to kind of jump off for this full season, because it seems like we will definitely have our hands full now, and we ain't got to worry about Omni-Man at this moment, because Angstrom is probably not going to let this whole thing go. He'll probably die. He ain't going to let that ride, boy. Not at all. So, the next thing I want to talk about is Jujutsu Kaisen, man. Yo, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long, but Toji back. You know what I'm saying? Toji back, y'all, or sort of Toji's back, cause I mean, is he really all Toji, or is he like a different? They haven't really explained that, because I mean, he hasn't really spoke either, you know, except for the little bit he talked to that old lady when he killed her. But Toji is back, and bruh, that fight with Dagon or Dagon or Dagon, bruh, he he waxed him so effortlessly. There was nothing that he could do, Dagon could do, to stop Toji. And remember, this is a dude that had three like top quality sorcerers on the run. Like he had Kento, he had he had these people on the run. So much so that when Fushiguro showed up, they were like, "Look, word, let's get out of here." That's how bad it was. They were about to try to run out and escape. That's how bad he was whooping up on them. That octopus man was giving them that work. Toji came through, stole a weapon. Dude just took her weapon from him. He's like, "Give me this." Then he was like, "You the strongest in here?" Word. Bruh. He whooped him up from the rooter to the tutor, boy. From the rooter to the tutor. Man, he took him out so bad. You know how you see a bad guy? They've been doing this a couple times this season, where a bad guy is getting beat so bad, you kind of feel sorry for him. Like when what is it? When Gojo? No, not Gojo. Was it Gojo beat up the old guy? Who was it? Did Gojo beat up the old guy, or was it? Maybe it was Gojo. I can't remember who beat up the old guy, but bruh, like you, come on, man, you can't be beating up an old man like that. I mean, I know he evil, but dang, I mean, you really whooped him up, and whooped him up bad too. I mean, he beat him so bad, the dude thought he was like dreaming of his dog or something. That's how bad he beat him. Like he beat him so bad, bruh. I mean, he whooped him to, man, it was cold. So then, all right, so you got that beat down. Then, furthermore, you have a beat down of Kento to that dude that was in the mall where he was beating up the girls. You got that beat down. That beat down was crazy. I mean, the dude pulled him by his ponytail and then whooped him properly. So okay, that's a bad beat down. Then you got Toji coming in here, bruh. Come on now, come on. Like the octopus man ain't have nothing, bruh. Squid face ain't have nothing, bruh. He beat him down so cold. Whew, man. It's a cold world out here, y'all. It's a cold world. Then, oh, sorry, no. Gojo didn't beat up the old guy. It was Guido. Guido beat up the old guy. When they was young, back in the first part of this season. Man, that old dude took an L so hard, bruh. Anyway, back to this though. So, Toji beats Dagon, and they get back to they get out of his domain. That's cool. But then you have a whole different issue with Sukuna, like kind of coming to a head and sort of rising. And we find out what I was saying about Guido. I was like, yo, hold up. Is this Guido? Is this our Guido, or is this dude possessed or whatever? Then we find out from the girls that come to kind of like raise Sukuna. They say free Guido. So Guido is also under some kind of spell or whatever, or possessed or whatever it is. So that's not the real Guido we're dealing with. And then the question is, how long have we been dealing with a fake Guido? Like, is this ever since he was little, or is this like recent? I guess I have to look and see how long it's been since he's had the little stitches on his head. Maybe that's when it happened. Maybe he got a head injury, and when he was in the hospital, somebody swapped him. I don't know. I don't know. But whatever happened, I don't think that's the real Guido no more. And I think they just confirmed that it's not the real Guido. But, bruh, Sukuna, when he arrived, bruh, he just be killing just because it's fun. That's why he got to go. I don't even think it's fun for him. He just killed because he can. Like bruh, the two when he got up, he was like, "Y'all need to kneel." So the girls kneel, and the little dude, he kind of got on his knee, but he ain't the dude with the volcano head. He ain't kneel high enough, so he straight chopped his flat top in half, bruh. Dude was feeling true pain. Then when the girls, he said, "You know what? Y'all got a second. Y'all brought me back. Y'all gave me however many fingers, so I'm gonna give y'all a second to talk." They asked him to please free Guido. They didn't tell him. He said, "How you gonna try to order me around?" I'm like, "Bro, they didn't try to order you around. They asked you nicely. They had their heads about it, and he just killed them just cause." Like, man, he was like, "Look, I don't care." I think he just do that for fun because he was gonna kill them anyway. But bruh, man, that was a cold, cold, cruel world, boy. Whew, man. I guess if it ain't rough, it ain't right. But anyway, Jujutsu Kaisen is still that fire, still that flame, and man, I can't wait to see more of where they're gonna go with this whole Shibuya incident because it's been fire. Um, Last up on the docket is Scavenger's Reign, man, and Scavenger's Reign is another one. You get these kind of like Mobius kind of artistic vibes in it when you look at it, and this is another one that's just pretty to look at. Straight up, it's just this show could be like a screensaver on a big 80-inch projector or something like that. It's just beautiful to look at, like the colors, the way things animate into one another, the uniqueness of the aliens. And I'll say one thing, boy, you don't want to be on this planet. This planet is just weird. Now, I guess I'm saying that because I'm from Earth and I'm on Earth, but some person from another galaxy might come to Earth and be like, "Man, y'all planet weird." Be like, "No, it ain't." So maybe I'm thinking this planet is weird, but for them, they're like, "Nah, man, this planet is cool." And once again, we're still dealing with the Demeter is now landed. So we do see that, hey, it's landed. Sam and Ursula have the ship on their little like communicator or whatever. They have the little tracking device. So it has landed and it is in one piece. So essentially, if we can get to the ship and we can bring all of the crew out of like cryostasis or whatever, then we should be okay. But Sam said, like, we got to be the first to get inside this ship because we saw those little like creatures like hitting the ship with his forehead and stuff. So who knows? If something that gets in that ship is hungry, they got a whole bunch of food in the fridge basically. So we'll see how that plays out. Also, Sam and Ursula had their own issues because this storm comes, and the storm is an issue for everyone. Sam and Ursula have to race from the storm. There's this stuff that flies, and if it cuts you, it starts to grow in your hand. It's crazy, and it can like. There's so many weird things on this planet. It's like it is not suitable for humans, but them running from this storm and everyone running from this storm shows how dangerous and how exciting, at least for us, we ain't on the planet, but how exciting and how interesting this whole show can be without having some kind of big bad. Like the big bad is survival. That's the big bad. The big bad is like, dude, just live. Just hopefully you can get off this planet. That kind of thing. And even when they're trying to find a cave, they're running. Sam and Ursula come upon these, I don't know, jelly ball things that are going inside a snail turtle thingy or something. Anyway, they jump in there, and it seems like everything's gonna be cool, right? You're like, all right, they're gonna be all right, bruh. Now we got these, I don't know, killer dung beetle crab thingies that jump down, scoop down the chute, and then kill all the babies in there. Here's my issue, man. Look, if you're a snail turtley thing, aardvark turtle, whatever, why don't you like just close off your snout or something? Like, don't let things just come in your snout. But anyway, babies is getting killed everywhere, man, all over the place. And when Sam and Ursula deal with it, it shows how vulnerable you would truly be. And it's because this thing it looked like the size of, I don't know, like a small car. like it, it's got pinchers and little teeth and stuff, and it's got I mean, it's got the shell. Like, so even with his little knife, bruh, the first thing I'll say, like, look, if you get stranded on a planet, the first thing you need to do is fashion yourself some kind of like spear or something like that, because you need some distance. That little knife, yo, look, your like predator is way too close to you with that little baby knife. And it won't like a Rambo knife neither. It was like a little baby joint. Like, bruh, whoo, you gotta protect your neck, son. Gotta protect your neck. So, uh, with the way they're dealing with this crab dung beetle killer thing, it shows, even with its like sonic weapons or whatever, it shows how vulnerable, how dead you would really be. Like, I mean, honestly, Sam was almost gone. Ursula happened to come out of it and happened to be able to kill it, but it won't like it won't a flawless victory, bruh. And then we see the storm with Levi and Ozzy, and Ozzy is still dealing with Levi, and Levi's, I don't know, sort of malfunctions maybe, because Levi is the one that found a way to get out of the storm into this kind of like oasis that it had found, but also it's acting outside of its protocol. And Ozzy said, notably, it's worrisome. You know what I'm saying? This is something like, bruh, I as a robot, I should be able to kind of anticipate what you might do, and you going off grid and all this stuff while I'm sleeping, it makes me worried, and that worry can lead to untrust. And if I can't trust you, I can't be with you, and you are a large part of my survival on this planet. So I can see the beef, man. I can see the argument with it. I can see the like the frustration around it. You know what I'm saying? In general, and even though Levi brought Ozzy to this place, which I think is an awesome little oasis, it's also not their objective. You know what I'm saying? Like, Levi had built this little kind of like archway door type of thing. It was like, oh, I just thought it looked nice. And it's like, whoa, whoa, first, what do you mean you thought it looked nice? We got things to do. So we'll see if this leads to just a Levi that is more sort of human like, or if this leads to a Levi that is dangerous. So we'll see. And then lastly, Cayman, and that weird light creature. The creature, I don't know if the creature is trying to, I guess, communicate with it, or if the creature is trying to keep it around for companionship, or if the creature is trying to keep it around to eat. But I don't think these creatures, they don't seem too predatory. So maybe this creature is just trying to protect it or communicate with it, because this is twice in this episode. This is twice that this creature has saved Cayman from himself. And I know from seeing this flashback in this episode with him and his I guess ex-wife, maybe ex-girlfriend, which the creature is kind of recreating in his mind to, I guess, become more comfortable with it. We see that he has some turmoil there and is kind of used to, I guess, running off on his own, or maybe sabotaging relationships and kind of like leaving them sometimes to his own detriment. So I'm excited for where this relationship between Cayman and this light creature, little kind of like round-headed light creature, where it might go, because he hasn't tried to really talk to it yet. So I think that the creature is trying to say something to him, but I don't know what. But I do think it's interesting that that creature had brought him in, and it doesn't seem that like any other creatures really deal with one another. They seem like they're kind of, I guess more like individualized than sort of a communal vibe with their, I don't know, their counterparts or offspring or whatever. So this is another show that's just unique and weird in a very good way, and I love watching it. So Scavenger's Reigns episode 2, hotness as well, man. I'm digging it. So with that said, guys, of course, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. And until the next time that you have to run from an alien storm on a crazy planet, until the next time that you have to get out of Sukuna's wrath, until the next time that you have to stop some kind of interdimensional issue between Angstrom and the rest of the Maulers, until the next time that you have to find out who's straight up serial killing all of these robots, it's from us to you saying, peace.